Ask Me, and we enable creators to monetize questions, and we use AI for this. And a question about the threat of appropriation. So all these amazing tools that we're using are trained on creator content and other types of content, right? So I'm wondering, how does the panel feel about the unauthorized, non-consensual use of creator content to train LLMs? And if there is concern about that, how do creators, independent creators, mitigate that concern? Obviously, the big IP companies like the New York Times and Reddit, they've negotiated agreements with the LLMs. But so far, there's really no avenue for independent creators to create that sort of leverage. So just wondering what your thoughts are on this.
Anyone want to take that one? I actually kind of have a thought on it, but I mean, it's interesting because technically, if you're posting on YouTube and whatnot, does YouTube have ownership over the fact that the video is there? So I could see down the line that YouTube ends up being able to negotiate so that you can scrape all of our content on there, which perhaps OpenAI was actually doing without clear permission. But that's a really interesting topic where creators are like, well, hold on a sec, you quoted something that I wrote in or said in a YouTube video and it came up in the transcript. Why do you have permission to use that? Or now New York Times, Vox, they're all inking $1 million deals to use that stuff. So that should be really interesting for how that comes up, where YouTube, ends up, or Google ends up using some of the, YouTube content, all that stuff in their own models as well. Will be interesting to see. But I'm curious if anyone has a deeper answer on that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, all I was going to mention is that I think one is, a lot of the court cases, and I'm not going to pretend to be an attorney or something, but a lot of the current court cases around LLM and kind of training data and et cetera, they're trying to shoehorn or interpret it into the current IP laws, at least in the United States. Obviously, this is country by country basis, but at least in the U.S. And I think, quite frankly, there's going to ultimately be an advancement around these laws, and that maybe some of the technology, some of the new stuff is clearly outpacing some of the older laws, or at least how they were interpreted in the past. But I think one is, for smaller creators, specifically to your question, is this stuff will play out, and I think a lot of these will set precedents, and ultimately depending on which way it goes, these open up class action and all sorts of stuff. But I do think one is creating a new market for companies to license even the smallest of creators. I've seen a couple kind of come out over the last couple of months. Sounds like your company is even in that space generally, and I think that they'll have new avenues for potentially it's an entirely new line of being able to monetize even some of the smallest pieces of content.
Yeah.
Robot.txt, etc. has been around for a long time, and stopping and allowing maybe there's a whole new AdSense world around rev share of your content, whether it be video or just text, etc.
It's the Wild West. A lot to go with that.
It's a little bit of the Wild West right now.
Good question, Paul. It's
Thank
awesome.
you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Work.
Appreciate it. I think we can do one more question, and then so the folks that are here perhaps